my name's Matt. I'm the owner of Basecamp Climbing. This is Toronto's most central climbing gym, also the newest climbing gym. The building that we're in is the former Metro Theatre, which, if you're familiar, is the old adult movie theatre of Toronto. The building was actually built around 1930, but it initially started as a B-movie theater. Around 1970, it became an adult theater and kind of started on a rapid decline immediately because it became an adult theater the same time as the VCR was introduced. Adult theaters at that time were just sort of in rapid decline all around. We took the building over in around 2014, and it was around a 2-year conversion, including sort of, the setup and changing the zoning and getting building permits and doing all of the construction. Everything that you can see is brand new except for the walls. The entire place was gutted, including the old floor, and the floor itself actually was poured concrete at the back. So there was one large movie theater at the back, and then the floor started on a slope, all poured concrete up to about 5 or 6 feet. So that was all broken out and torn out. There's a big projector room on the 3rd floor that's entirely gone, and projector rooms at that time were built very kind of bomb-proof strong because of the old movie reels being so flammable. So that was definitely a process in its own. And the mezzanine that we're currently standing on is all brand new as well, although there was a mezzanine here previously showing a second screen around where this railing is here now. I've been thinking about opening a climbing gym for most of my adult life, and I actually spent several years building rock climbing gyms. And it was only kind of by chance that I came involved with the Metro Theatre. It had just gone on the market, and I came inside and looked at the space. Immediately I knew that, this would be not only a fantastic location for a climbing gym, but also a really amazing conversion of an adult theater space into a rock climbing gym. So the idea was kind of to take a space that was not family friendly and that people would kind of avoid as they're walking down the street, and turn it into a space that, caters to all Torontonians and all ages. So the outside of the building was actually quite a bit of work. So the wall that faces Bloor Street is the one that has the marquee on it. And the marquee that we initially came and saw was in pretty bad condition. The steel was very much rusted out, and the actual weight of the marquee had been pulling the wall out toward the street over the past 85 years. So we actually had to reinforce this wall, the front wall, in order to be able to keep the marquee. So it definitely took a lot of work and a lot of effort. And also, marquees of that size are not allowed anymore in Toronto. So if we were to take the marquee down, you'd never be able to put it back up. We tried to keep the marquee in line with the old theater as much as we could, and we've done a lot of sort of playing off the old adult theaters. Some of our route names in the gym have actually been kind of puns related to the adult theater. So we've had, routes like the tight crevasse, and we've had routes like the reach around. So we've done kind of a now playing outside to keep it as much of a theater as we can and play off the history of it, while still pointing toward the fact that it's a rock climbing gym. Another way that we're doing this, we actually also had some movie sign boxes made that look just like the old style blinking bulbs with the movie poster inside, and we've made a couple of kind of fake movie posters as well, like an ET poster, which actually stands for elevated terrain rather than extraterrestrials. So the signage on the marquee itself, that's where we put the route names and some of the the puns off the old theater. We also have been using it for some of our advertising, which has been fantastic. It also is advertising the newly opened coffee shop in the same building, so Black Rock Coffee, which opened about a month ago. It's a fantastic addition as well. We have a window that leads from the coffee shop into the rock climbing gym so that people who come for a coffee can watch live sports essentially, and people who are rock climbing can kind of peek in and see if there's something that they might want before, after, or even during their rock climbs. So yeah, we've been able to use it for a lot of different avenues actually, but one of the best is to keep it light and keep playing off the old theater history. So the mural, we've left this space open for expansion, and this is all spray foam insulation with a fire barrier, a thermal barrier on top. So it was kind of an unfinished wall, and the idea of a mural sort of popped up, and we started talking about it a little bit. So yeah, again, we're at Base Camp Climbing at 677 Bloor Street West. It's almost directly across from Christie Subway Station. Our phone number is 416-855-0430. You can always reach us at info@basecampclimbing.ca and check us out online at basecampclimbing.ca. If you ever get the urge to come climbing, just come by and check us out. We have an indoor shoes policy here. This flooring actually I put down myself, me and my girlfriend Caitlin, and breakfast television was coming in the next morning before we'd started, so we actually started putting this all down at about 10 p.m. on the night before they arrived, and we finished at about 6 a.m., which was exactly when they arrived. That was a very long night, and then a very long breakfast television shoot as well, but yeah, so this was all basically done in one night. Buildings with very large ceilings are not very common in the downtown core. Most of the time you'll find rock climbing gyms in more industrial locations where you have large open span warehouses with high ceilings. Just recently we put up that our recreation classes still had a few spots, and they got filled up immediately basically as we put it up. This is the overhanging section of the wall. What you see on the left is our prow, and that is lead only. And when I say lead climbing, I mean that there's no ropes at the top already hanging for you. So you actually have to climb up and clip the ropes in as you're climbing. So you can see the quick draws or the clips on the wall. This is our archway, which also makes for some really interesting routes where you can kind of, be upside down as you're climbing and have to climb from one side of the archway to the other and lift yourself around. Sometimes it can be really upper body challenging, where you have to grab on and just lift your entire body weight up. The difficulty levels are all shown at the bottom here, as well as the route names actually. So you have, in our gym, the difficulty goes from a 5.5, around there for the easiest, up to about a 5.13 plus. So this is all more of our kind of, we call it face climbing, where the wall is sort of just more vertical and there are less angle changes that you have to contend with. And these sections that you see here, these 5 units, are called auto belays. So you can see that this guy here is climbing without having someone else to hold the rope underneath him. That's because the machine is actually retracting the lanyard for him. And when he lets go, it will let him down at the same pace no matter what weight he would be. So between 30 pounds and 300 pounds, you will drop at the same weight, at the same rate, sorry. Because there's a magnetic brake inside, so the more force you put on the magnetic brake, the faster the magnets spin and the higher the magnetic field, so the higher the resistance. So if you weigh less, obviously there's less resistance. If you weigh more, there's more resistance, and it lowers you at the same speed the whole time. So it's really fantastic for coming in and climbing on your own as well, because a lot of people kind of have trouble coordinating partners to come in and climb with. So these 5 are really nice for both climbing on your own, and if you just want to give it a quick try before you actually take the lesson and learn how to belay properly. So the signs on the back of the theater, we don't really have any plans on changing either. Those ones, I'm not sure exactly how old they are, but yeah, we're planning on keeping those there too. And then this one is the slab wall that I was talking about. So again, the incline goes in toward the wall like this, which allows you to be able to just kind of stand on the wall and not really even need to use your hands. Again, it looks like it's a lot easier, but you can even see the size of holds that we put on the wall here. So because gravity is assisting you, we make it a lot harder in terms of the holds that you have to grab onto. So it keeps it at a consistent difficulty no matter where you are in the gym. The original box office has been all gutted out, but when you walked into the building previously, there was sort of a cage face on the right with a little slot in it that the movie attendant would sit in, and that's where you would pay for your ticket to go in. And they had a small popcorn machine there too, and like a really, really oldest vending machine I've ever seen. And yeah, there were these really tacky chandeliers hanging down everywhere, and up here on the second floor on the mezzanine, actually, there were pictures of like Mary Poppins and Charlie Chaplin and a lot of old movie figures from that time. So it had a very, you know, tacky chic to it initially. This is our beginner wall where the lessons will usually be taking place, some of the easier routes, and it's nice to be able to learn how to tie the knots and how to use the belay device called a gree-gree, and how to belay in a safe, controlled manner. So we go over putting on the harness, tying the knots, using the belay device, and ultimately belaying a partner down from a climb. And so here we have a window leading into the coffee shop. Again, there are a couple reasons this is really nice. Number one, the people from the coffee shop that typically can just come in and have a cup of coffee can see the climbing gym and get interested in climbing. And people from the climbing gym can also kind of look in and see if there's something they might like. You know, a pre-climb espresso or a post-climb barbecue chicken sandwich. So it kind of is a spot that caters to climbers, but also allows other people to come in and kind of experience the gym without having to come in and see everything. So it's a bit of a cross promotion, and it's a really nice way to tie the two spaces together. We've got a ton of different programs, so we do everything from corporate groups to introductory lessons. We do children's rec classes, which runs similar to swimming lessons as in terms of an 8-week program. We do tons of birthday parties, and also we're just open for drop-in climbing. So our hours for intro lessons are available on our website. Just go to our website and click on classes, and you'll see the available time slots there. You can even just book in right online there. We got these whiteboards for people to be able to talk to each other from the coffee shop to the climbing gym, and a lot of the time people just kind of in the coffee shop tend to make some really nice kind of artistic you know, messages, and we also have a whiteboard somewhere in here that people can write stuff back to the gym. Also, we've had people draw right on the glass because the markers we have are good for glass, and we've had some people playing tic-tac-toe back and forth between each other. So again, it's just kind of about uniting the two spaces and doing it in a really kind of creative and fun way.